I want to make sure that you got something that you can take home with you and you can start working this like right now. Okay? How can you take a message that talks about unity is not uniformity and actually start doing something with that? And what I think is the key, and the key is that if you really listen closely, the key is just being authentic. That's the key. Be authentic. The thing that we know when we talk about that one source, God, life, whatever it is, it's in everything, everywhere, and it's infinite. Infinite means that there's so many different ways and it can show up in so many ways that it can manifest that we can't even imagine the number, but a multitude of ways that Spirit can work through us. And because of that, each one of us is unique. There's no two snowflakes that look alike, no two blades of grass that look alike, no two people. There never has been none like you and never will be another like you. You are unique. And what I've learned is that that's where our superpower lies, in our uniqueness, understanding that we are unique, that what we bring to the table, that's what's special. You know, there's a whole lot of ways people tell you. They say, hey, be yourself because everybody else is taken. Don't try to be a copy. Don't try to be a duplicate. Just be yourself. Well, the way I always heard it was find your own voice. Find your own voice. Years and years ago, when I first got interested in doing public speaking, motivational speaking, I followed all the great speakers. I mean, I listened to everybody who I thought was a good speaker. It didn't matter whether it was Tracy Brown, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, anybody who had a name in speaking, I followed them. And I checked out what they were saying and how they said it. I memorized the same quotes, told the same stories. I got real good at being them. And I joined groups like Toastmasters, National Speakers Association, and I got a chance to be around some great speakers, people that I had admired from a distance for a long time. And I got a chance to hang out with some of those folks. And you know what they would tell me? They would say, Michael, you know, you're a good speaker, but what you really have to do is find your own voice. Find your own voice. Now, for a long time, that didn't make a lot of sense to me. I didn't quite know what they meant. You know, and I would still maybe try to use a quote that I had heard somebody else use or sing something, or say something that somebody else had said. I didn't quite get it. But when I did understand what it meant to find my own voice, to do it my own way, to tell my own stories, to come up with my own quotes, to do it my way, and just be the best Michael that I could be. When I did that, then things started to change. That's when it happened. If you try to just be a bass player that plays like Stanley Clarke, Jonathan, you won't be the best bass player because you can't be a Stanley Clarke, but you can be the best Jonathan Fisher that we ever know playing that bass. It's hard for us to copy someone else, but we can be authentic. And that's what works, being authentic. I heard Oprah tell a story about the exact same thing. You know, back in the 80s, I'm old enough to remember the 80s, maybe some of you can't, but if you were back in the 80s, we had talk show hosts out of the gazoo. I mean, everybody was a talk show host. Geraldo Rivera was a talk show host. Phil Donahue was a talk show host. There was a lady that used to wear the big round red glasses, that was Sally Jesse Raphael was a talk show. We had tons of those people out there doing that stuff. And Oprah said that she wanted to be a talk show host. And she was copying Barbara Waters, because that was the best female that she knew doing that. And she got real good at being a Barbara Waters, she said, but she didn't get good at being herself. And when she discovered that it was about her being her authentic self, that's when things took off for her. Now, if it can work for a billionaire like Oprah, it probably can work for the rest of us too. It's all about being authentic and being yourself, being who you are.